Hello, everybody, on this lovely Monday morning. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the show yet again. Hope you guys had a great week last week. Get ready to have another great one, or maybe it'll be a horrible one. Maybe something, a curveball get thrown at you. You might get the vid, even if you have the vaccine. You might get sick. Right? That's totally a possibility. I feel like I fucked this chair up. You might get laid off. That's always a possibility as well. In this crazy job market we have, you might get laid off. It'd be really crazy because right now everybody needs employees, but it'd be like, sorry, you're fired. We're laying you off. And you'd be like, what? Why? I mean, just... Aren't we already short-staffed? They'd be like, no, you're gone, goodbye, you're fired. No, I don't hope any of that happens to you. But if it does, embrace it. Big thanks to Mr. Ross Levine from last week and Nate Marrera. Had a double guest episode. Nate fucking... on here had said that he wants to try fighting full time. And it's crazy when you think you know somebody. Like, I know Nate for a little while. I know he's an athletic kid. He's a pretty intense kid when it comes to, doing physical activity and shit like that. I never would have thought he said he was going to be... I never would have thought in a million years that he would want to be a fighter of any caliber. But that's just a testament to adapting. It's a testament to finding different things that we like. That's pretty, and we only like them for so long, right? And that's what's unfortunate. That's where, like, the crazy success comes in, is when people just, they don't get tired of it. They have a mindless obsession with it, which is hard. Think about that. If you're someone who thinks about a whole bunch of different things like I do, you have to dilute yourself to only, like, really focus on something. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta bring your brain activity down a few wavelengths and just focus for a while. You know what I'm saying? And do that shit. Right. That's what I was saying about Nate being I was gonna say, what the fuck? Why am I even talking about this? No, it's just sometimes people they do a complete 360 on your ass. That was a big surprise. Sometimes that shit happens to you. Someone comes up to you and say, hey, I'm pregnant, your kid. You say, whoa, I didn't expect that. Holy shit, what's going to happen now? What an event. So this past weekend, football, right? Football's back for everybody. It's crazy there's still people who care about football. I personally don't watch anything sport-like unless there's beatings, unless there's, like, severe consequences to mistakes. And I guess there is that in football, but there's still, like, a sense of we're playing a game, Sports are great. I've talked about this before, but it is a game at the end of the day, and I think once you take that stance, it's kind of hard to, revert back and take it seriously again. This is the first time in a long time that I haven't done a fantasy league. And wow, do I feel a weight taken off my shoulders. Holy fuck. Every Sunday or every day of the week, basically, you're just like, oh, God. Because there's, 3 days of the week that they play. There's football games, so... And Sundays, you're bugging out, and you got to be ready for Monday if you have a team playing on Monday, or if you want, or if you got a player playing on Monday. And then on Wednesday, you got to bug out because of Thursday. And then the rest of the week, you're thinking about it. You're like, fuck, Sunday, the big day. I got this guy playing, that guy playing. Should I switch this guy out? Holy shit. And you're playing a make-believe. It's perfect that it's called fantasy. I mean, they hit the nail on the head with the naming of what it is, because it's you're really getting involved in the lives of people who don't care that you exist. Right? Isn't that really what it is? That's what I mean. That's a that's a blueprint for fucking everything that people get into. That's weird and cult-like, right? Politics. You get really involved in the lives of these people who don't care that you exist. It is. Right or wrong. That's what it is. I mean, all the time you see on ESPN, there's always people, oh, my fantasy, fuck. And the player responds on Twitter or some shit. Hey, fuck you, Skip Bayless. I don't play for your fantasy team. I play for me. And you feel like he's doing some stand-up right fucking thing, which is good, right? Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck the people who play fantasy football and give more eyeballs and to my sport. And fuck them. Fuck them for putting more money in my pocket and allowing me to play a child's game with a bunch of other grown children for millions and millions of dollars. Thank you for allowing me to spend my entire life working on the craft that is equivalent to a 16-year-old. You know? Thank you. But fuck you, right? Go fuck yourself. I don't play for your fantasy team. I play for me, for my family. Really? You play the sport of football for your family. So when you're a little older and your children are a little bit older and they want to do shit and they can't because daddy's knees are shot or daddy doesn't remember their fucking name or to go to their graduation or, anything. Really, right? I mean, that really, you do it for the love of the game. I do it for the love of the game. Imagine the mental capacity it would take for a person to play a sport that gives you brain damage solely because they love doing it. Imagine that. Imagine the insanity. That would be like me just doing like amateur kickboxing matches. That's what that would be to me. It'd be like me just getting my brain beat for nothing, right? Because in the grand scheme of things, $30 million a year is phenomenal. But when you think all your toes have different names, then things start to... That money, you don't remember how much money you had, or you have. You don't remember. You don't remember any of your glory days with the guys on the football field in college. And no, it's all gone. It's all gone because you smashed your head into a bunch of other guys whose heads would also become mush later on in life. It's crazy. It is crazy, the mind of an athlete. I've spoken about this before, but I like to speak about it, especially with football back, right? Football is just a reason for everybody to do bullshit. Like, it's a reason for everyone, to really get together and eat and indulge multiple times a week at times where they normally wouldn't if it wasn't football season. Mondays and Thursdays. I guess people would go around fucking around on Thursdays. But Sundays as well, right? Sunday's the big one. Get the whole family over. We're going to make pot roast, nachos, and we're going to fart all day, and we're going to fucking cuss and talk shit about these players. And, they don't care. The players don't care. They don't give a fuck. Oh, we do it for the fans. No, you motherfucking don't. You do it because you have a golden opportunity, motherfucker. And yes, they worked for it. Yes, okay, big deal. Worked. All right, I understand that there's greatness, and it's phenomenal to watch. And I'm from fucking New England, where it's a sin if you don't care for sports. But I do. It's weird. There was like a weird change that happened. We all just, I guess, interests don't align anymore. I guess I don't care about watching, any of that stuff. It's like when I was younger and I used to watch baseball. I stopped watching baseball way before I stopped watching football. And I probably stopped watching basketball around the same time I stopped watching baseball. So, I mean, and if I'm being honest, I haven't been watching a whole lot of fights. You know, it's been, and when I do, it's not like a memorable thing. Like before, it was like, wow, we're all gonna do this. Let's get together, watch, we scream and yell. That shit doesn't happen anymore. You just watch it. Oh, okay. Like you just, I don't know. Interests change. So it's a crazy thing. It's just like, going to the gym for me. Like now, I suck. I suck at that. I am a bulbous asshole because I don't go to the gym anymore. I mean, I've been saying I have an injury, but I've also been neglecting getting it actually checked out and taken care of, you know? Nonetheless, who gives a fuck about any of that? I've been working a lot. These past, this past week. I made some money, picked up some shifts, did some stuff, you know what I'm saying? But also at the end of this month, I have, I'm leaving. So that means before then, I have to work like a dog so that I can, pay some rent. Pay a little rent, you know what I'm saying? It's a lovely cycle. It really is, right? Just getting up, mindlessly going to do something, and then getting some make-believe reward at the end of it, and then coming back and using that make-believe reward on other things that are like, weird. Like just I've been reading a lot of Albert Camus lately. I'm finishing one of his books. It's actually 2 books in one, and the second book is a whole bunch of different stories. And before I get into whatever the stories are, Albert Camus was a philosopher who he dealt with the idea of the absurd, which what I'm talking about is how life is just absurd. Like we have so many feelings and there's so many different situations and weird things and ups and downs that it's a lot of the time for some of us it can be just a burden because of how fragile things are and how weird the balance of everything is. And he would explore that, and he would write stories, fictional stories about characters and people, real-life people, who would be put in hypothetical situations that, would make them exhibit some sort of emotion or make them speak about something. And he would kind of tell this story about how his philosophy on life, and he would tell all these different kinds of stories about love and life and the changing of a man and the when a man is faced with the absurd. That's really what it was. That's what his philosophy was. That when it came to writing, there's a story. I think it's called The Silent Man, and it's about a man who pretty much lives in seclusion, but he's a teacher. But he's alone one night in his school. And I guess there's some revolution going on, and some bounty hunter comes up in his house with a prisoner. And the guy's like, what the fuck are you doing? Yada, 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 leave me the fuck alone. And the guy's like, nope, we got to drop this guy off. And he's like, the teacher who lives alone, he's like, what the fuck do you mean? I mean, I don't have any stake in this game. What do you mean? Nope, we're dropping this guy off, and you have the responsibility of getting him to the next town where he'll be killed or imprisoned or whatever the fuck's going to happen to him. And the whole time, the bounty hunter is telling the other guy to arm himself because they're like on the same side but not on the same side. Like this guy has no reason to kill this teacher. He just drops this prisoner off, and now he for whatever reason, is given this responsibility to decide whether he lives or dies, or has a chance at living, essentially. And it's just interesting because there's so many different types of so much contemplation, because he just waits until the morning. That's the time horizon. And, the whole time he's just thinking about life and life as a man, and life as this man, and enemies, and why is this person deemed an enemy to my people, and that type of thing. And he's dealt with this absurd situation, and it brings him to think about all this other shit. Really, really interesting stuff. So, you guys can see that's bleeding into my commentary here, my orating, if you will, that there's just very, very weird shit that happens. Like just what I'm doing right now. This is the reason why I'm doing this is because I was faced with a weird situation. I was faced with not knowing what I want to do in this life. Just think of that sentence. Us humans are the only ones that think about what we want to do with our lives. Every other animal just fucking, they eat, they shit, they fuck, they walk around, they learn the land, and they fucking die. That's it. That's their brains. It's the primal brain. We're animals, so we're somewhat connected to that shit, but it's a lot more convoluted. You know, there's a lot more emotions. There's a lot more layers. People are multifaceted, multi-layered. You don't know what this guy's saying. Is he real? Is he fake? Is he feeding you bullshit? You don't know. There's just mayhem going on. We're the only ones who feel like we have to do something with this life because we're put in a, system, for lack of a better term. I'm looking for something better. We're put in a system or an environment that has constructs, you know, and I never thought I'd be talking about this type of shit. But I am, because it really is true. There's different type of constructs that lead us to believe that there's something that we have to achieve, something that we have to do with this life. And in more ways than one, it's beneficial because we are these humans that are gifted with these brains, and without these ideas, we would never have any innovation for our species. And we would get mauled by all the animals, and that's why we're still fucking here. Nonetheless, it's all very strange. I'm talking into this microphone to you guys because I think that I will be able to gain a financial reward from this at some point in my life. Some point in my life, this microphone speaking will get me to, you know, a place where I'm happy, maybe, or comfortable, or I enjoy what I do. Like, think about how crazy that is. I enjoy what I do. What do you do? Oh, you know, I'm an accountant. I do taxes. Do you like it? Oh, I enjoy what I do. I enjoy it. I really mean it. You enjoy what you do. What a broad statement. What a vague, broad statement. You enjoy what you do? Everything that you do? Everything that you do, you enjoy it. Really. When you get hammered and hit fire hydrants with your car, and you wake up in the morning and there's, you know, $2,000 worth of damage. Do you enjoy that? Do you enjoy what you do? I don't know. It's just a weird thing that I've been thinking about. It really is interesting when people tell you to read books because that shit, it resonates with you differently. It really does because you're reading someone else, especially like a fiction novel. I'm not big into like fantasy novels, but a fiction novel like these ones that I'm reading that have kind of like a hidden message, like a hidden notion, it makes you think. That shit really like embeds itself, you know, especially the more you read it. But Camus is such an interesting guy, such an interesting philosopher. Died early, of course, like all interesting fucking people do. Crashed his Porsche going really fast. Cool way to die. Cool guy, cool way to fucking die. Leather jacket, cigarette smoking French guy. Handsome, young, didn't look like a philosopher. Every other philosopher was some fucking poofy-haired goof, old. I'm wise. Yeah, good. Look at this motherfucker. He's cool, he's slick, he's suave, and he's smart than a motherfucker. And he's got a crazy outlook on this life. The absurd. What a fucking interesting thing. He, I don't remember the exact story, but it was a Greek myth that he referenced to what life is. And the myth was some god or some demigod or whatever. His job was to push a rock up a hill knowing that once he gets to the top, it's just going to roll right back down. And he'll walk back down and go pick it up. But knowing that this is his existence, he makes the best out of it. He does it with a smile. He does it encouragingly. Which, at the beginning of that analogy, if you're a cynical person like me, you're like, huh, right, yes, life is just like that. And then there's a little bit of positivity in there. You kind of dip away from the realism, and then the positivity kind of comes in, which is where you get a smart person, right? A person that can see both sides of the fence. Any person that's only negative, only quote unquote realistic, then, I mean, what do you ever get done, right? What do you enjoy is my question. What do you enjoy? You only enjoy the most organic of things. You won't watch a superhero movie. I don't watch superhero movies, but you know what? If I will if need be. Like, I don't want to, but I'll do it, you know? Yeah, just pushing that fucking rock, having it come down, and just being okay with that. Hey, this is what I'm here for, and this is it. And that's an interesting way to look at life. Look at it as just a series of it's just an uphill battle, series of uphill battles that result in just a decrease in everything, in energy, in resources, in capacity for emotion, anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a complete depletion of everything once you hit some kind of successful mark. Then it's like, ooh, and you drop and you whatever. And some people stay there. Some people fucking stay there. But if you know that, hey, this is life, ebbs and flows. I didn't get too low, right? Let's not get too low. You got to have that idea as well. But hey, let's do this again. Yahoo! Let's build. It's a crazy, crazy fucking thing. It's a crazy life. Living la vida loca. Another thing that happened this weekend that always makes me happy. Anderson Silva. Oh, boy. Another bullshit boxing event with, more attractions than Anderson Silva. But I want to talk about the GOAT for a second, because watching him do his thing, and yes, it was against an old, washed Tito Ortiz who doesn't have hands, never had hands, was a wrestler, ground and pound, the whole thing. I get it. But watching Anderson Silva do exactly what you expect him to do to a guy like Tito Ortiz, it's rejuvenating. Anderson Silva is the GOAT, in my opinion. He is my favorite fighter of all time. He had the best prime out of anybody, finished everyone with a fucking multitude of techniques, fought some fucking stiff competition, and fucked them up champion style. And it's great to see his transition, because he was getting fucked up in MMA very bad. But to watch him beat up Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in the way that he did, so one-sided, just beautiful, beautiful technique, boxing, just boxing, right? Doesn't have to worry about takedowns, doesn't have to worry about kicks. He's 45, he can box, he can move his head, he still has his faculties, he can still compete, and it's fucking awesome to see, and I'm happy to see it. And then before that was the abomination that was fucking Evander Holyfield and Vitor Belfort. I mean, Jesus Christ, it's just a testament to how in this country we don't let anything die. We don't let anything ride out into the sunset. As I'm talking about Anderson Silva. But there's a difference, all right? Anderson Silva rejuvenated his career. These guys are just fucking momos, okay? Vitor Belfort hasn't been relevant in ages. Evander Holyfield is old as a motherfucker, just as old as Mike Tyson, but was never as relevant. Nobody cares, okay? Never as polarizing, I should say. Probably relevant, but never as polarizing. People care more about Mike Tyson, right? Lennon left McCartney, McCartney became the poster child, but Lennon's still the dopest. You know what I'm saying? That's what the fuck it is. So that was an abomination. That was just disgusting, and I don't mean disgusting in like a white woman. Oh my God. No, it was horrifying to watch. Just old guys beating each other up. I mean, in theory, it sounds like a good idea. If you typed in old men beating each other up on YouTube, you'd probably find some funny stuff. But it's because you don't know their backgrounds. You don't know if they were bad motherfuckers or not. And both of those guys were bad motherfuckers at one point. And to watch them stumble around a ring like two drunk momos, It's a little embarrassing. But the star of the show, amongst all these fighters, these washed fighters, these rejuvenated fighters, these actual boxers who were also on the card, amongst them, we had the most legendary commentary team of any sporting event ever. Ever. I'm talking about ever. Any sporting event ever of all time. They literally, Triller did the right thing by getting Donald Trump, Junior Dos Santos, Jorge Masvidal, and Donald Trump Jr. I mean, why not? Why not? They know they have bums. They know that their main attraction is old guys. They know that their main attraction is old guys who want to hang on, and they're old, and one of them is the GOAT, and he can do it. But all the other guys, that's the market. It's just old motherfuckers who want to hold on, and they're allowed to, go out on their fucking silver whatever, and they're, they can't go peacefully. They have to keep doing it. So that's what the marketing team is projecting to everybody. So think of the crowd that's coming in, right? It's all just degenerate assholes, people that don't know anything, just toothless mutts in the back ass of fucking West Virginia just watching. And now you add that commentary team. I mean, obviously Donald Trump, right? We got Donald Trump, who was the president of the United States of America, right? He was the president of arguably the greatest country, prosperity-wise, to ever live, to ever be. He was the president, okay? An interesting one the entire time, a polarizing one, but nonetheless a president of the United States. And he's sitting next to two guys who assault people for a living. Two guys that make their money smashing the bony parts of their body into the soft parts of another guy's body until that other guy stops moving. That's how they make their money. Jorge Masvidal massacres people, okay? Let's just talk about his last 3 wins, right? He just lost to Kamaru Usman, he got KO'd. Before that, he lost to Kamaru again, got hugged up against the fence. Champion, right? Champion caliber fighter, fighter's fighter, comes out to brawl, fought in backyards, the whole deal. Okay, this is what he did. He went to another country. He went to England. Fought a guy that's way bigger than him in his backyard, and broke his face in half. Okay, after that, he's got a lot of hype behind him. He fights another guy who's got a lot of hype behind him. Mr. Ben Askren. Nobody likes him. Everybody wants to see him get slaughtered, and that's exactly what Jorge Masvidal did. He ran at him full bore, jumped in the air, and hit him with his knee in the soft spot of his fucking skull, and Ben Askren, to this day, lost 20% of his childhood memories. So, and then after that, he fights Nate Diaz, beats him up, and puts a crescent moon in the side of his face, a crescent moon-shaped cut in the side of his face, all around his eye, kicked him in the face on his way down. I mean, just brutality. The kind of person that Donald Trump would probably enjoy speaking to, which is why he campaigned with him, and which is why Trump won Miami, won Dade County, right? Jorge Masvidal, the Cubans, they don't want no socialism. So, and then you got JDS, who can't speak because he's a zombie. He's gotten hit so many fucking times, he doesn't know where he is. So Trump probably can't even understand him. He probably wants to deport him, just listening to him. And then you got Trump's son, just as the lackey, right? The guy that's, hey, it's me with my dad. My dad, he brought me today to work. So I'm here with my dad, and we're going to watch me and my dad. That's Donald Trump Jr. That was the most legendary panel. And I didn't watch the fight live. I was at work. I didn't watch it. I saw Anderson Silva KO the guy. I would have loved to listen to it, though. I would have loved to listen to Jorge Masvidal gives some expert commentary on what some of the fighters are doing, whether it was the co-main and the main or the undercard fights. I would have loved to hear that, and I would have loved to hear Donald Trump say similar things with a lot of inflection, with a lot of it, saying, "Oh my God, this guy punches so hard. I came in here, I said, wow, look how hard he punches." That was terrible. I apologize. But you know what I'm saying. He, Trump just there, hogging the mic mostly, right? Even though Masvidal is the most qualified to speak, and the person who can do it the best in terms of qualification and that. So, but Trump just hogging the mic from Jorge, and then, Junior Dos Santos just babbling, nonsense that doesn't coincide with anything, just babbling stuff. And then Donald Trump Jr. just looking at the camera, just, "My dad. I'm here with my dad. Look at me with my dad. We're watching the punches. Me and my dad. Look at this." Yep. And that's just, I love that. And I heard that it was incredibly unorganized. I heard that it was an absolute shit show. And that shit sells. That's what's crazy. If you tuned into that shit knowing all the stuff that I just talked about, how the co-main and the main are just washed up bums fighting each other, trying to get a paycheck, trying to do this, and then knowing that the commentary team is what I just said, you bought into the fact that it was going to be an absolute shit show. And they delivered. It's not always you get what you pay for, The old saying is you get what you pay for, but not all the time. If that was put together well, then it would have been a shame. But in that sense, I'm going against what I said. In that sense, you do get what you pay for. But who gives a fuck, right? It was just nice to see. I love fucked up situations. I think it's great. Guys, this was a hard one to get done. I'm a tired motherfucker. This is Sunday night for me. Worked like a dog this past weekend, like I said, and we're going to keep working because I need to get these episodes out before I leave to Indiana. So, guys, I'm done. I'm done talking. Please follow the show wherever you listen, subscribe, share, tell everybody. I know I said a while ago that I would do this in the beginning. There's a lot of things I said a while ago that I haven't done. I still don't have an intro song for this. I said I would make one. I never did. I have a broken string on my guitar that I haven't fixed in 8 months. So I haven't fucked with that. Goals coming up soon. You guys are going to be real impressed. Real impressed. But anyway, follow the show, share, like, comment. It just feels better to do at the end. And go to obsessiveaggression.com if you want to buy some gloves. And I think that's it, guys. Talk to y'all Thursday. Peace.